If the embryo transfer day has ever felt like an airport runway, lights on, everyone watching, hoping for a smooth takeoff, you're not alone. Today, we're making that runway calm and coherent. I'll be providing you with an evidence based success checklist at the end of this episode, so stay tuned. It will be something you can actually follow that will help your body feel safe and receptive. We're blending science and spirit because your biology and your spirit both deserve devotion. Whether this is your first embryo transfer or your fifth, we're going to restore your center, redefine what truly matters, and create a loving environment for your little one to thrive, so that by the time you enter your transfer, you'll feel more aligned and ready to go. Welcome to Fertile Frequencies Radio, the podcast that's here to revolutionize your fertility journey by going beyond hormones and cycle tracking. We combine science, spirit, and mindset to help you finally achieve success. If you're done with the same old fertility advice, you've come to the right place. This is where we celebrate every fertile win and empower you to view your fertility as so much more than just your physical body. Get ready for powerful stories, expert insights, and interviews, and endless amounts of encouragement to uplift and inspire you every step of the way. Hello, and welcome back to Fertile Frequencies Radio. And for those who are just joining for the first time, my name's Lindsay, and I'm the host here at Fertile Frequencies Radio, as well as a licensed natural reproductive medicine health expert and a spirit baby medium, and among a lot of other things as well. I specialize in the subconscious mind and really the energetics of fertility. And so I have been connecting parents and babies for nearly 20 years in a very unconventional way. But the interesting part of me is that I am the true meaning of science with spirit. As someone that is a licensed health provider and has seen hundreds of patients, I understand your physical biology as well as how the mind body connection is working and spirit babies and the energetics of spiritual fertility. So, welcome. Today's episode is going to equip you with what you need for your embryo transfer week. This is a really special one. We're going to be going into the details. We're going to be covering some basic sort of advice. And as you know, just to state, anything that is said on this podcast or any episode that you're listening to or any of the content that you receive from anywhere that Fertile Frequencies is creating, you must know that this does not make us a provider and patient relationship. This is only for educational purposes only. Always listen to your licensed health providers that you are working with. And if you're listening to this, most likely you are receiving IVF treatments or you are considering it. And please always listen to your reproductive endocrinologist, your medical doctor, as well as your other providers, because it's important that you stay on track with their schedules and treatments, and do not sway from that, especially if you are receiving IVF. So, first, before we get into anything, I want to cover some basics here. And we are really going to be talking about some of the clinical practices and research that is consistently pointing to around the transfer timing. So, first thing is you're probably familiar with the medication precision. So, you probably heard of progesterone. There's other medications you could be taking, but we'll talk about progesterone. And it's really important to take it exactly as prescribed on schedule. This keeps your endometrial lining receptive for the timing and aligned with. It's really important that these medications are taken on time. And again, make sure that you are following the advice of your medical provider, because they are going to know best based on the treatment that you are receiving. So, also sleep and circadian support. You really want to prioritize a regular sleep window for 3 to 5 nights before your transfer. Melatonin is naturally produced in darkness and supports cellular housekeeping. Aim for lights down, screens off earlier than usual. And I also have to state melatonin, natural, but you can also supplement melatonin. Don't take any supplements unless your doctor has told you to do so, okay? Especially if you are receiving a medication schedule, you are doing an IVF, IUI, you are doing fertility treatments. It's really important that you discuss with your doctor everything that you're doing. Even the simplest things, like taking magnesium, for example. Just make sure that you are discussing with your doctor always. Then we've got the gentle glucose. So, about 48 to 72 hours before your transfer, make sure that you are building protein forward meals with fiber and healthy fats. This is really going to help to stabilize blood sugar, supports calmer cortisol levels, which in turn supports your progesterone. Okay. And of course, is going to help you to feel much more grounded if you don't feel shaky and feel like you're having a glucose attack all over the place because you're not eating enough. Food is very important. It's very important for the blood quality, which has so much to do with the endometrial lining and really how the embryo is going to implant into the uterus. Your lining has to be a certain thickness to be able to house that embryo. So it's really important that you are eating a stable and well balanced diet, as well as I recommend bone broth. Is highly recommended that you make that yourself from some organic free range bones. And there's lots of recipes that you can find online. And if you are someone that's working with me one on one or in one of my fertility programs, you are given all kinds of information on bone broth and how to make it and incorporate it into your diet. So, also, we have easing inflammation, keeping your meals simple, colorful vegetables, quality protein, olive oil, and skip the mystery ingredients. What do I mean? For the most part, stay away from the stuff in the middle of the store. Try to buy all of your food on the perimeter of the store and definitely make sure that you are eating organic cooked vegetables because this helps to really warm the womb and the uterus. There's something in Chinese medicine that we call a cold womb. And if you have been listening to my podcast for a while, you have heard some of my episodes on the cold womb. You want to make sure that you are consuming foods that are helping to really warm and nourish the womb. Most women that are struggling with infertility have a cold womb. And if these things were actually told to them in the fertility clinic, it might be really helpful having better success rates. But it's not because there's no proof of it. Holistic medicine, Eastern medicine, has been saying these things for years. But it's my job to help to integrate this into major medicine. And this is why I do what I do. So, you listening to this podcast, you're much more of a holistic minded person, making sure that diet is a huge part of your fertility journey and your success. So, staying away from things that are not going to benefit your body, like those mystery ingredients, the genetically modified, the artificial colors, things that are not good for you, seed oils. I could go on and on and on because our food system is so messed up. But those are good ones to start with. Also, movement. I want you to think of more about circulation movement, not so much about the crazy exercise. In fact, 99% of IVF doctors, if not 100%, are going to be telling you do not do strenuous exercise. I will say the same thing. Please do not do that. Walking is fine unless your doctor is telling you not even to do that. Again, use this with your discretion, that you have to remember that we are talking educational purposes only, making sure that you are listening to your own treatment protocol with your reproductive endocrinologist and fertility clinic or medical doctor. Please, 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 I can't stress that enough. But light mobility is really helpful to increase the blood flow. And again, we want to avoid strenuous training for now and absolutely into your first trimester and after the embryo transfer. Okay. Again, listen to what your doctor is telling you. But if you are working with me, I would say, please do not do strenuous exercise. We're not going to be doing that for quite a while until you're getting to the point where you're in the second trimester. And even then, that has limitation. Okay. Remembering that if you are having an embryo transfer, that IVF is more of a delicate process. This is not a natural process. This is a scientific process. Okay. So we are manipulating the body in a way to be able to help it to conceive in a scientific process. So, because of that, we have to treat our bodies a little more delicately than what we would with maybe a natural pregnancy. But even in natural pregnancies, I don't recommend people do strenuous exercise in the first trimester. So, if you are someone that has gotten pregnant naturally, or you're listening to this and you're just curious about my IVF checklist and you are working on getting pregnant naturally, please also be careful during the first trimester, even if you are not an IVF patient, because you just have to be careful. You've got a little baby growing inside of you. Strenuous exercise can cause you to your heart racing too fast, but too much movement in your body. Too much movement can actually pull the baby out. I mean, I could go on and on and on of different things, and some of it might not make a lot of sense. But what I will tell you is that take it easy. Give yourself some extra rest. I think most women that I see don't want to be doing strenuous exercise anyway because they're tired in the first trimester. Okay, I digressed a little bit. Very common for me. So, also the acupuncture window. I'm a licensed acupuncturist. You'll hear me say this probably on every episode that I talk about acupuncture. Please make sure that you are working with an actual fertility acupuncturist, okay? Preferably someone that is AB Board certified, which is the acupuncture and TCM board for reproductive medicine. I am on that board. I'm a certified fellow. It's a very strenuous process. We truly do understand fertility, IVF. Make sure that you are working with someone that is either super, super seasoned in it, has been doing it a long time. Maybe they're not AB Board certified, but I would prefer that you work with somebody that's AB Board certified, because it's just like with supplements. Not all of them are created equal. I'm not saying that acupuncturists that maybe are not certified in that are not great, but it's like if you were to go to get some sort of heart procedure done. Would you go to a general practitioner for that? Absolutely not. You would not, because you'd go to a cardiologist. Okay. So it's the same thing. You want somebody that really knows what they're doing. And acupuncture is great because it can really help you to feel calmer, help the uterus to relax, to receive the embryo. And it is important, unless your doctor says not to do this. Again, listen to what your doctor is saying. But before and after the transfer, if your doctor wants you to go home directly after the transfer, do acupuncture at least 24 hours before your actual transfer. And this, again, is going to help you to relax. And the relaxation is the response that is so key here, okay? After the transfer, you want to make sure that you follow your clinic's specific instructions. Some advise pelvic rest, or what you might call the couch potato, just kind of like relaxing, but doing some normal things as well for a defined period of time. Make sure that you're honoring this guidance. Make sure that you're listening to whatever your doctor is telling you. Also, a very kind note to make here: none of this is a guarantee. It's all a cooperation with your body and your protocol. This medicine is your scaffolding, and safety signals are your sanctuary. So, your body to feel safe is the most important part of this. Not saying don't follow your protocols with your doctor. Absolutely. Follow those protocols. But the most important part for those protocols to actually work is that your body feels safe. Remember that a safe body is a fertile body, okay? And anything in manifestation, whether that be manifesting better health, manifesting a partner, manifesting money, whatever it is, when you feel safe and relaxed, you are in your intuitive energies. When you feel anxious and uptight, you're in your ego mind, which means that your cortisol and your hormones are going to be jumping all over the place in a way that we don't want them jumping all over the place. Okay. So the more calm you are, the more you're in your intuition and your vibe of knowing that everything is working out for you and that you feel safe in that, even if it takes some tries and it doesn't happen exactly the way that you felt it was going to happen, and really surrendering to the process of what is meant for you, your body is going to respond and it will feel those safety signals. Okay. Very important. So now we're going to be talking about the energetic receptivity field. And really, what that is the heart and the womb coherence. So now this is a temple on transfer eve and morning. I want you to create a receptive field, not by trying harder, but by softening the system that says we are safe. So here's a 5 minute, I'm going to call it the gold light coherence, that you can do nightly, 3 days before and the morning of. So the first step here, and if you want to pause this and write it down, if you want to go grab some pen and paper to write this down as I go through this, you can absolutely do that. But I'm just going to run through it quickly. So you might need to pause and write things down and then go back to it. So number one is going to be about your posture. You're going to sit or recline with one hand to your heart and one to your womb. The second step here is that you're going to breathe. You're going to inhale for 4 counts. I want you to hold it at the top of your crown chakra. Just hold your breath for 3 seconds, 3 counts. Then you're going to exhale for 4 to 6 cycles. So really what that would be is 4 to 6 breaths out. And when you're breathing, always make sure that you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Always, always, always. And also making sure that when you're breathing in, you're really taking a deep breath in through your nose and it's coming from the bottom of your belly, and you're really taking in that prana. You're really taking in that air. You're really taking in the ether. You're really taking it in, all that love. Okay. And then when you're breathing out, you're really emptying out everything. So it's like everything, just all the tension, everything. It really wants you to just let it out. Okay. Even if you are making a noise when you do it, that's great. That's letting out tension. Perfect. The third step to this is going to be the gold light. You can imagine a gentle gold light above your crown chakra, or I prefer that you actually imagine the gold light actually coming out of your crown chakra. Because my philosophy is that everything is within you. It's never outside of you. So visualizing the light outside of you is telling your mind that it's outside of me. No, no, no. The gold light is within you. Everything is within you. The kingdom is within you. Okay? So you are absolutely pure love. And as you're letting this energy just flow out of the top of your crown chakra, you are letting it flow all through your chakras. Your crown, your heart, your womb, your pelvis, your legs, and out through your feet. And then the fourth part of this is that you're going to say one true sentence. You can whisper, I choose timing that loves me back. And then the fifth part of this is a receiving cue. Ask inwardly, what's the simplest way I can receive today? Then allow one image, word, or body sensation. And please, no forcing here. And you're always going to seal it with step 6, okay? Any sort of exercise that you're doing of creating energy, healing, and connecting with yourself, with source, with God, with your spirit baby, anything. I always want you to seal it. And how we're going to seal it today is we're going to say this. Thank you for what is for my highest good and this child's highest good. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And after that, now what we are going to do is something called the energetic boundaries that manifest miracles. And you can also visualize a soft gold oval that's coming from inside of your own vessel, remembering that everything is within you and it's wrapping all around your body. So this is something that you could add to what we just did. And you're inviting only what is for your good and God's timing or source, universe, whatever you feel comfortable with. And if fear knocks in, place it outside the oval and just let it be there with compassion. You don't have to force it or feel that have to do it a certain way. Just allow yourself to feel what it feels like to be in a place of the present moment at peace. And then if something comes in that is not of that frequency, of that feels good, just place it outside of the oval because it doesn't belong in this frequency with you, of this present moment, of this love and the infinite creator that you are, the fertile creator that you are. It can just go right outside. We're just going to let it be outside. And probably what will happen is you probably just forget about it, which is exactly what we want you to do. So, the next part of this is intimacy and co regulation with your partner. Intimacy is so much bigger than just sex, especially around transfer when clinics, they don't want you to do any sort of sex anyway. So, they advise the pelvic rest. Please do not have sex with your partner, like actual intercourse, if you're told not to do it. I've never seen a doctor say that you could have sex with an IVF cycle. So please do not do that. There are other ways to be intimate, though, and it doesn't always involve actual sex. It could be maybe support or doing something nice for each other or doing some sort of energy healing practice or mindfulness practice together. Okay. So you can choose from these practices that I'm going to give you that really help you to stay steady and both have a grounded nervous system. So you can start with a back-to-back breathing. You can do this for 60 to 90 seconds. And what you're going to do is you're going to sit back to back and breathe together for 6 counts in and 6 counts out. And you can repeat this again for 60 to 90 seconds. The next practice that you can do is one-line check-ins. You can say things like, right now, I feel blank, blank, blank. What would feel supportive tonight? So maybe there's something you could do with each other at night or in the morning, whatever feels good for you. Also, partner role clarity. You can assign 2 jobs, maybe the meds timekeeping and the calm keeper. So it could be tea, warm socks, playlist, and rides, just to give you some examples. Something else that you could do is touch with consent. So hand on shoulder or foot massage. If allowed, feels like I am here, not fixing this. Okay, so just being there for each other. That's so important. You don't have to feel that you need to fix anything. Sometimes it's just being present for each other, maybe having some laughs or doing something that you'd like to do together and just being with each other rather than having to solve things all the time. And I know that can be really hard while you're on a fertility journey, but we can also change things up and make things, I don't want to say easier, but make things so that they're maybe not so hard. Everything really is about perspective, and I'm not watering it down and saying that this is not difficult. But what I am saying is that we can alchemize things. We can turn things into something that maybe feels better while we're going through something. Okay. So, and that's why I've created this podcast, because I'm here to support you. I've been doing this a long time and I've seen so many cases and I've had many conversations with many different clients over the years, and I've perfected it. I know, and I'm learning all the time as well. Continue, every client that I see teaches me something new. But I've been doing this a long time, so I know how to help in a way that can help you feel maybe better about this while you're going through it. No one wants to go through IVF. Of course not. Who wants to go through IVF? But there are things that you can do that help to soothe and maybe make the ride a little bit less hard. So yes, listening to this podcast can be really helpful. At least I hope it is for you. So if you are solo, I have to add for this round, or you're doing the whole thing by yourself, which does happen, you can ask a friend to be your timekeeper or calm keeper. Really, community is very medicinal. So having the support that you need. And again, that's why I'm here too, making sure that you do get the support that you need. So here we go. We are going to go right into the IVF transfer success checklist. I'm going to go through it readable on air right now. But you also, at the end, are going to be able to go and grab this for yourself. And I will link everything in the show notes so you can go ahead and get that. But let's go ahead and talk about it. So here's your IVF embryo transfer success checklist. Please use what fits and leave what doesn't. Always defer to your clinic's plan as well as all of your doctors and specialists. Please make sure that you are listening to that. So 48 to 78 hours before, we're going to start with the sleep window set. Aim for a consistent bedtime. Sleep is so important. I have had clients that have not specifically worked with me in a particular IVF cycle because I would not let them do this, but they've done other IVF cycles without me before they knew about me, and they didn't get a great night's sleep before the transfer, and the transfer didn't work. You have got to make sure that you sleep, okay? Try your hardest, meditate, listen to sound frequencies. Get yourself in, do some meditation, do mantras, anything that you can do to get yourself to sleep. Drink some chamomile tea. Make sure that you're sleeping. And I guess I should say not just the night before. I'm talking like days before. Get your body regulated, ready to go for this. You've been ramping up for this for a long time to have this embryo transfer. Okay. Like, get your body ready to go. This is go time. Okay. And I don't want to say that to create any sort of feeling that you feel intimidated by that, but this is go time. This is what you've been waiting for. And then also, we want protein first meals, and you can add those organic cooked vegetables as well as the healthy fats like olive oil. Please stay away from seed oils. As well as hydration study. You can add a pinch of minerals if that feels helpful. That can be really helpful for any aches and pains, as well as electrolytes. And light movement daily. We talked about this earlier, maybe some gentle yoga if your doctor says it's okay, as well as walks outside are really powerful. It's connecting with nature. It's connecting with fertility. Also, your calendar, double alarms for all your meds. Optional acupuncture, massage for relaxation, and again, clinic approved. Massage is a little tricky. You want to make sure that you're working with somebody that's prenatal certified and does understand IVF, because massage can actually release toxins in your body that you don't necessarily want in your body to be released when you're getting ready to do an embryo transfer. So making sure that you're working with the right person, and again, talking with your clinic and your medical provider to make sure that this is approved. Also, decide your 2 non-negotiables. Okay, 2 non-negotiables. I'm going to give you examples. Probably one of the most important is sleep, as well as maybe walks are really important for you to help ground your energy. So on the transfer eve, you're going to lay out your meds, clothes, snacks, water, and any paperwork. Also, your IDs. Make sure you have your IDs in your wallet. Okay, you're going to need that. Prep. Okay, Lab and Love pouch. That's really cute. You can call it your Lab and Love pouch. So you've got your meds in there, your syringes, needles, alcohol pads, mini cooler if needed, and a printed medication schedule. And this might not apply to everybody. Okay, and your 5-minute gold light coherence that we talked about. Doing that the night before, as well as the morning of. You can also ask your partner or friend, what time is our med alarm and who is driving, as well as gentle media. So a soothing playlist and no doom scrolling. Please, please, please stay off of social media. Unless it is something that is so positive, social media can be so detrimental during a fertility journey, especially with IVF. Because there's so much, first of all, information that is not correct. And also, I'm going to be straightforward because that's who I am. There's so much fake. People posting fake stuff. Look at my life. Everything is so great. You don't know what's going on in their life. I want you to focus on your life. I want you to focus on the abundance and the amazingness that you are. And going into this thinking about your life, not what someone else is doing, okay? So absolutely keep yourself off of social media. It's not worth it. Most of it is so fake. All right. I can't stress that enough. Most of it is so fake. So the transfer morning, you want to follow your clinic hydration and food instructions, as well as take your meds precisely on schedule. Do your 3 minutes of heart and womb breath and speak your one true sentence that we talked about. And you can write your own. It does not have to be what I said on air here. You also want to bring those nice cozy socks and maybe a sweater or a blanket. Just keep yourself nice and cozy as you possibly can through this process. Physical comfort helps you to really feel so calm. As well as don't forget those fertility crystals. If you only want to bring one, that's fine. Some suggestions would be a rose quartz, angel aura rose quartz, as well as some sort of turquoise stone. Turquoise is the color of dreams coming true. You could bring a quartz crystal point that helps with clarity as well as cleansing. But fertility stones, I think rose quartz or a moonstone is probably my favorite, or anything that's in the angel aura quartz, which you can get the rose quartz. I have on my website in my fertility shop, you can find crystal kits and crystals that are specific for fertility. Um, and so, yeah, I think it's wonderful to bring those with you. Crystals hold wonderful energy and can be really powerful in helping you through this. So, after your transfer, you want to honor pelvic rest, activity, guidance, and exactly as it's given, and keep very subsequent meds on time and set your partner alarm too. So, as your partner to help you with this, they want to help you. Here's the thing: if you're the one carrying the baby, you're the one that's going through so much. So they want to help you. They want to nest too and help you through this. So choose one daily non negotiable. Here we are at the non negotiables again. You want to nap, walk, or breath work. I'm just giving you some examples here. You don't necessarily have to do all those. I think naps, yeah, breath work and naps, those are non negotiables for sure. Walking, yes, if it's okay with your doctor, but naps, breath work, you got to do that. Okay. Drinking your bone broth too. You got to do that. As well as protecting your field. So limit energy draining conversations. And I said it earlier, social media. Limit that social media. Yeah. Keep yourself around things that do make you happy and inspire you, empower you. And I'm a firm believer that when we're going through stuff, I think it's pretty good to kind of isolate, keep yourself away from a lot of energy because we do transfer energy back and forth. And if, you have a family that's so loving and you feel so protected and warm around them, that's fine. But a lot of families can have some things going on and maybe it doesn't always feel so warm and fuzzy. I don't recommend putting yourself in situations like that. I really want you to put yourself in situations where you feel very supported and just feel as good as you possibly can, because that embryo is going to feel that. And the uterus is a muscle. And if it gets crampy because of stress, it can actually make it so that the embryo doesn't implant. So please keep yourself as calm as possible, as relaxed as possible, but not so much that you're not going about your day, because then the body thinks something is up. And unless your doctor says otherwise and has you on bed rest, again, please listen to what their instructions are. Okay. So, triggering questions and responses, like people might ask things that are triggering, and you can say something like, "We're focusing on health and peace today, but thanks for understanding." People say things all the time that they shouldn't be saying. And it's not necessarily that their intentions are bad. It's just people they kind of can be ignorant about things, just because they haven't gone through it, or they don't have experience with it, or they think that they're helping you. And it's just, that's another reason why I say isolation is good through this 2-week wait, so that you can keep yourself away from conversations where people are asking you things that you really don't want to talk about. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with keeping your peace and not wanting to answer questions. I think it's great that you're thinking of focusing on yourself rather than focusing on trying to appease to others and being able to answer what they're curious about. And again, some people are very much supportive, and even the ones that say things that they shouldn't say, things they shouldn't say, it doesn't always mean that they're intentionally trying to hurt you. So remember that your job is to signal the safety, okay? And the embryo's job is to develop. And both are so incredibly sacred. All you have to do is signal that safety, and the embryo is going to be like, cool, I want to make a home here. And there we have it. We have a successful embryo transfer. And if you are someone that works with me, I rarely ever have anyone not have a successful embryo transfer. If I'm doing acupuncture, if you're local to the Denver area, or many of my clients are all over the world. In fact, most of my clients are global, so you don't necessarily have to be in the Denver area. But I don't have people not have successful embryo transfers because I know how to get your energy in a place where you're going to have success. The doctors are going to do what they're going to do with their science. I don't do that. I'm not a reproductive endocrinologist, okay? I love science, but the science with the integration of the mind-body connection, the spirit, the energetics of fertility is so important. The subconscious mind, how the body is responding as far as safety goes. That's why my clients have such high success rates working with me in embryo transfers, because it's about the energy. It's all about the energy. So if you are someone that's been listening to this and you've made it this far, just know that there is all kinds of solution for you. And if you are interested in what I do and the programs that I offer, you can definitely fill out my application, and then we'll have an opportunity to be able to book a discovery call. We can sit down and design a treatment protocol plan for you to help you if you are having an embryo transfer, or if you're someone that is working on getting retrievals as well. I'm here to help you. I know how to help you. I know how to help you get the results that you so deserve and to finally have the success that you are meant to have. So if this episode helped you to feel more at ease, please share it with someone, if you know someone else who may be preparing for an embryo transfer day. And don't forget to like, follow, and give us a 5-star review. We need your support to keep this podcast going. And for your transfer success day checklist, this is going to be a PDF download. You can visit my website. I'm going to have it all linked in the show notes, where you can download the checklist using the link, again, that's provided in the show notes. And I want to thank you so much for joining me here today on Fertile Frequencies Radio for yet another empowering episode. And remember to breathe and trust that what is meant for you won't pass you by. And I'm Lindsay, and this is Fertile Frequencies Radio, and I love you, and we'll talk soon. Next time, I'm joined by Dr. Amatma, holistic fertility doctor and functional medicine specialist. We'll go deep in functional fertility medicine, intimacy that actually regulates your nervous system, and the energetic dynamics between partners before and during pregnancy. Expect practical lab wisdom, myth-busting, and loving clarity about how union becomes medicine on this path. So don't forget to tune in, and I'll see you next time.